So Donovan Mitchell missed the last game with a hamstring injury, turned his ankle just a few moments ago. Apparently they rubbed some tussin on it, Griff. He's back in.
Mike Elliott, Mr. Miyagi. It's all good. I told you he'd be back quick.
Well, Denver Nuggets running away from this one, so it doesn't look like Utah will be back quick. But Chris Marlowe, Scott Hastings, they're on a call to close this one out.
This is by far the best quarter the Nuggets have played. Now Nikola Jokic is going to come out. One more three would have given him a triple-double. This is the third time this year that he's just missed the triple-double.
Yeah, 3 times.
But he'll take it.
And like Michael Malone talked about it before the game, he's about winning. And listen, he was in there competing. Didn't have the shot necessarily going down, but boy, I'm telling you what, this bench to me in the second half, late third, or most of the fourth, has been absolutely dynamite.
Now Morris puts it up, no. Block for the back. Tough shot there.
Udo got it from the back.
Epi Udo is in. I thought a pretty good player last year, but he's not playing much so far this season. Now Niang coming in. Into the corner to Exum, reluctant to shoot. Now 9 on the clock. Dante Exum shaking and baking on Akun Purcell. Grayson Allen, that's no good. Back out. Niang gonna try it. Nope. Nuggets still playing pretty good defense. Scrambling it up. 5 on the clock. Exum dribbles into the corner. Epi Udo puts it away.
Right, it got lost a little bit, helped double the ball, didn't need to, kind of left his man alone. Well, this a game in doubt. 3 or 4 minutes to go in that third quarter to kind of win handily. You wouldn't have expected it.
Incredible fourth quarter. Hand off Beasley. Turning the corner.
Denver had 68 points. Well, they're going an offensive foul on somebody.
Hey, a reminder, Western Union is a proud presenting sponsor of the 2018-19 Nuggets season. Mason Plumlee, the first three-pointer of his career. And I dare say that shot was the key shot in this game. One shot, Plumlee for 3. Murray was good, but Plumlee hit the 3.
Couple possession baskets here. You're your 5th opponent this year under 100?
5th opponent under 100. The Nuggets are going to win their 4th game in a row. They're going to improve their record to 8-1. They remain undefeated at home this season, 5-0. And they will now win their 12th straight game at Pepsi Center as Devon Akun Purcell, the cherry on the whipped cream.
Yeah, nice little reverse too right there. What a win, folks. Don't take this win for granted. This was an epic. This was as what did Vic report that Mike had said? Hey, listen, we're a 4th quarter team. Man, they proved it tonight. Wow.
How about Mason Plumlee? Drilling a long 3. And that seemed to really turn things around. Good night for the Nuggets. What a win. 103-88. It's the final. Now let's send it to Todd and Bill in the studio for the Toyota Locker Room Report.
So the Denver Nuggets improved to 8-1 on their season, their best start since the 1970s. But check out the Joker. Not playing around, not seen on that box score. He's not even on there because he only had 7 points, but he had 16 assists, 10 rebounds. Now he's had a double-double in 7 of 8 games, one shy of his career high, 17 assists. I mean, the point center is what we can call him nowadays. He's just a different animal than we've ever seen.
Well, what's really special about Jokic, he's very much like a big man version of James Harden. You just don't speed him up. He plays at his pace all the time. You're never going to make him uncomfortable. He's always going to make sound decisions with the ball. And even when he was, I feel silly even talking about it as saying he's not young now, because he certainly is. But when he first came into the league, he had such a playfulness. He really never understood when it was time to get serious. And Michael Malone and his staff have them locked in now. These young kids understand there's a time to play, and there's a time to play. And right now they are bringing it on both ends of the floor, and just really excited for Mike that he's got them playing at this level. Because you remember last year at one point when they were going through the injury problems, they were wondering if they needed a different voice for this team.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to stay the course and let somebody take hold like Mike has.
Well, very similar to what Mike was trying to do in Sacramento. And then they got impatient. So to his point, that now that he's able to be here, fight through the injuries, now get everyone healthy, and now see Beasley and Murray and all those guys understand how to play on both ends of the floor and share, now they're starting to see it.
3D, were you ever in a situation where in your career you didn't have the regular season success that you thought your team should have, like the Denver Nuggets last year, and then you go into an off season, everyone with the same mindset, start off the next season incredible? Because I feel like that's what we're seeing with this team.
Yeah, I think to everything we just told you, Chris, is that now everyone is seeing with all the hard work and all the sacrifice. Let's talk about Gary Harris. He got the big contract a few years ago. Remember that? People said, is he ready for it? Now no one's talking about it because he's shown he's worth it. So some of that process now is coming to fruition for Denver. That's why I'm happy they stayed patient with this young core.
Griff, Mike Malone's energy is something that it pops off of the screen when we're watching them and how they're starting this year. What did you see at the end of the game that he did?
Well, I was personally, this was one of the most exciting things I've seen in terms of a player-coach relationship. There were a lot of struggles getting Jokic to really mature competitively. He wasn't a defensive player, and he wasn't attempting to be a defensive player. And Mike now has him to the point where he's a very significant plus on that side of the ball for him. But because they run their whole offense through him, you saw when Jokic was coming out of the game, and it was a very subtle thing because you could just catch it for a brief instant on the camera. Mike turns to the crowd, and he's inciting the crowd to give Jokic a bigger round of applause when he's coming off the court. He wanted them to make more noise for Joker as he was walking off the floor. There was a time when that was absolutely not what Mike's thought process was relative to Jokic. So it shows a lot of growth in Jokic. It shows even more growth in Mike Malone.
No, I think to Griff's point, when you have young guys come into our league and they're younger than the past, it takes right? Like, that's probably what's tough for you to say because he came in so young and he's still young with only 4 years under his belt, right? This is his 4th year. So it's like, wait a minute. Now that you give him the contract, now you instill the power in him. Now he's stepping up and playing well.
Well, speak to that a little bit when we talk about these players and developing, because another guy we saw tonight, Victor Oladipo, was the guy who he mentioned in his interview, hey, I bounced around a few times. I was concerned with whether or not I was as good as I thought I was. I mean, that's the kind of situation some of these young players find themselves in. How difficult is that for them?
It's very difficult, say, for Oladipo. You were, I think, the second or third pick in the draft. So you were expected to come in and help change Orlando. So Orlando didn't see what they thought they should have saw, so they got impatient and moved him on. Same thing with OKC. So Indiana says, come on in, we know what you can do. But like Oladipo said, he continued to work. He never complained. He stayed in the gym and kept working on his craft. So when opportunity knocked, he was ready to show that he had been working.
So Denver Nuggets 8-1 now. Are they for real? Can they keep this pace all season? You know, they can't win 8 of 9 games all year, but can they be a top team out west all season?
I don't see any reason that you can't count on them to be right in the hunt as long as their two bigs in Millsap and Jokic stay healthy. Because the way they've built that team, Tim Conley has done a masterful job of putting the right pieces around ball-dominant, play-creating bigs. That's what their formula is. So Jokic has 16 assists tonight. He's going to lead them in assists virtually every night. So when you were talking about him being as good a passer as there is, period. They've built their team to take advantage of that, and they need Millsap for the same reason because they are not overladen with ball-dominant play creators. They're sort of the antithesis of Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got like 6 or 7 guys who can make plays and not enough of them who can shoot. Denver has a really nice blend of all of it.
From a center's position, just in the history of the game, are there other players that pass the ball like Jokic? The only person I can think of, for instance, is Arvydas Sabonis.
There you go.
Are there other guys that have been able to do what he can do, and is this just a new player, a different style of basketball that we're seeing?
A handful of guys. I mean, you think of Vlade Divac was a good passer from inside. I mean,
Bill Walton.
Late in his career. David Robinson was a great
Alvin
passer.
Adams.
So there's guys out there, but not
select few,
but not very young coming into the league. Now Sabonis was good when he was young, and then when he got old and came over and started playing, he was still very good. So that's why to see Jokic at a young age and have your team want to play through you, I think is really, really significant at this point in his career.
Well, that's the key. There have probably been several bigs in this league that could have been far more significant as playmakers. They weren't empowered to be that.
Right.
The way the game has grown and evolved, it's a skilled game. Everybody talks about it being a small game, and everybody talks about it being pace and space. Your skill set and your basketball IQ has never been more important than it is today. There's a reason Golden State is so incredibly special. It's because they don't even need to run plays now. They understand how to play the game at the very highest level, and they're skilled enough to take advantage of it.